Welcome back, guys. So today is that day. I know we've been talking about it for a while now in other videos, but today we are going to build the ultimate Milwaukee M18 outfeed table. This thing is going to be packed with features. It's going to have the M18 table saw, an incredible piece of equipment, rapid chargers, packouts. It's going to have drawers and slots for all the accessories that we use every single day in Ruggy's Woodshop. This is our way of saying thank you to Milwaukee Tools. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for building an incredible tool line. And thank you for everything that you bring to help us create incredible projects. Also, I want to give a very special thank you to the One Key support team. You guys rock. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for always being there when we need you there. And Milwaukee, this is for you. Let's do this. I started recording the build and I didn't realize that I ran out of space. So it stopped recording and, I didn't check it. So I didn't get the whole build on video, but I will go over the measurements so you can have them. So if you wanted to build something like this for yourself, you'll have the measurements. So the cross runners that's going left and right is going to be 35 inches. You need 11 of those. The side, only in the back, you're going to need one 38 1/4. All the posts for the support is all going to be 30 inches, 4x4. You have the side rails, top and bottom, they're all the same. So that's going to be 4 of those at 91 inches. And that's basically where we are in the build right now. I'm using 3-inch coasters, so to bring the height up 33 inches, so that the table saw will sit basically right here, which is almost half the size of how tall I am. Some people do build them, 30 inches altogether. I brought mine up 33 inches. I built the carcass 30 inches with the coasters 3 inches. That brings it at 33 inches. So let's get to building the rest. And it's a long project. We have a lot of big plans for this. It's multiple usage for one table because I don't have a huge shop. So we need to compact everything that we're doing basically into one. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish. So let's get crack-a-lacking. Alright, so right now we have to put the rails, across the top because the bottom's already in. So we need to add 4 more rails. There's a lot of ways you can do this. You could use pocket hole jigs. You could use, screws on the side, nails on the side. What I actually do is I put them across using a staple gun, using 3-inch staples or 2.5-inch staples. I'm sorry, 2-inch staples. So with the 2-inch staples, that's just going to support it. So I have time to go back and countersink all the screws, because we are going to put a border trim around the whole cabinet of the carcass. Once we get the carcass done, we'll go back and we'll add all the trim. We'll make everything really nice, because the finish of it, what we're trying to accomplish, is to basically see nothing. And since it's going to have multiple usage or purpose, there's a lot of things that we have to develop inside. So let's get moving. Alright, guys. Oh, also, one other thing I want to touch base. Now, 2x4s are not 2x4s anymore. So they're really 1.5 by 3.5. So on this build, we're using, I do believe it's 3 1/4. Yeah, all the 2x4s were cut down to 3 1/4. The reason for that is because I wanted a flat mill top. So all the 2x4s are completely square and flat. So therefore, when we go to put the top on, and for the other things that we're doing, we have a complete flat surface. So that's the main thing. There's a lot of ways you can do it. You can put it through a planer. You could use a joiner. You could, you know, use a table saw. Like I said, I'm just using the staples right now just to basically hold it in place for me. So I have time to go back and countersink everything. When you're adding, if you do it this way, when you're adding the staples, just remember, don't shoot it in a place where you have to add the screws, because that would really suck. So what I like to do is just shoot one directly in the middle. That way I'm guaranteed not to hit or put it in a place where I gotta add screws. I guess I could have just went around the whole thing and just pre-drilled everything, but I didn't want to go through all that. So another reason why I made it 3 1/4 is because we have LED strips going under here. So that's about 1/4 of an inch thick. So when I put the LED strips under here, the sides and everything will match so that it's flush with the bottom. Go. She's getting heavier. Alrighty then. Bada bing. So it's going really well on the table saw bench. We ran into a little snag, but we'll get over that. So I end up misjudging the measurements on one of the 2x4s, which brought it out of alignment. So I didn't put it on video, but I had to take the whole thing apart and basically redo it. But I will update that in the measurements, and before I draw the plans out, I will update everything. So right now, the rails is 90 inches. Each one of these center supports are 35. The ends are 38, top and bottom. Now the measurements, I did it so I can put 2 open face boxes on the bottom of the base. So what we have to do right now is get a test fit and a test cut from the table saw. So we're gonna measure out the top and bottom distance, and then we're gonna deduct for the table saw, and that should give us the height roughly where we need to place have the placement. So what we have is 25 3/4. The saw is 12, so 12, that gives us 11 3/4 kickstand and 14 inches from kickstand to the top of the top. Stop blocks work beautiful. Alright, so this is the base we built. Now it is a tight fit. Alright. Let's get the table saw. Alright, so now we should have 2 inches here. We don't want it to match up 100%. We want the table saw, in my case, to be just a smidge over the top base. So let's see how we can build this up. Alright, so that gives us a 1/2 inch. That should give us almost, I mean, we're about a 10/32 off, but this will give us a rough estimate of where we need to be. Let's try to do a cut on this, and let's see how good she does. We'll just use this old test piece of board right here. Now we should have about slightly less than a 1/4 inch over the 4x4s. Alright, here goes nothing, guys. I mean, that works absolutely beautiful. Really beautiful. Nice straight cut. It's a beautiful cut. Now we are about a 10/32 of an inch off. As you can see right here, if I was to add Okay, this is an 8. So that's where we need to be, right here. So, I mean, we are just a smidge. Actually, we're perfect. So that's going to work out perfect because once we put the utility ply on, then we're going to be able to stain this black and polyurethane it. So it'll be a nice smooth finish. And this is how the utility ply looks. It's very thin. It's like micro thin. So once we stain this and we glue this down, it's going to look absolutely beautiful because we're also going to do the face with the same utility plywood, which, you know, I don't want to see 2x4s. I don't want to see 4x4s. I want to see everything just blend in perfectly with the colors of Milwaukee. So with the utility ply, we can stain it, polyurethane it, make everything a nice, smooth finish the way we did the router table, and I think that's going to absolutely bring it out beautiful. Then, of course, we got special stickers coming that actually says Milwaukee Tools, and we're going to make this, well, we're going to try to make this really nice. So we have a drawer going in the bottom here. It's a lot of usable space. We don't want to waste it. Plus, what we also have is a charging station and a battery station. And then what we're going to have is a pull-out right here for saw blades. So, you know, if we need a new saw blade or we need the fence or anything that we need, it's all going to be tucked in right here. We got the side panel on. We got the front panel on. The biggest thing is we got to cut it out. And to do that, we're basically going to take a drill bit. We're going to drill 2 holes. And then we're going to use a rabbiting bit to trim all the way around the ultra plywood, which is going to give us 100% flush cut, even cut, somewhere about right here. I don't care what the plywood looks like, because the router will fix that. This is just to put a hole so we have a place to go through. Let's just check. Everything is solid. Done, done, done. All right. Ooh, me. Marron. Dusty, dusty, dusty. Not too many burrs. That's beautiful. I think it came out perfect. Let's brush some of that away. How good is this? That's 220. So now we just want to go on the inside. Just to get those sharp edges away. So we have some staples up here. So it doesn't matter because I didn't have enough clamps to clamp every 6 inches to hold the ultra plywood to the 2x4. So I put staples up here every 3 to 6 inches. But since we're going to have the top and we're going to have a 2-inch strip all the way around the table, that'll cover all the staples and we'll never see them. And it'll just be an ultra finish, you know, table. I think it looks very modern on one side. What do you guys think? I mean, minus the holes and stuff, but we have the charging station right here, the table saw right here, the battery compartment, the drawers, the saws. We have the pull-out slide. We have the slide-in compartments. And then we have a lot of open space on the bottom and on top. I think it looks really nifty. I think it looks good. So it's coming along, guys. It's getting there. So there's still a lot more work. Right now we got to clean up all this garbage. I love working with wood, and I love sawdust. The only thing, sawdust makes the floor very slippery, which makes it very dangerous. And falling in this shop, well, you might get lights out. Like being hit by Tyson. Lights out, man. So we don't want to take that chance. So we'll get everything cleaned up, and then we'll start milling out the other, or cutting out the opening, and then the side and the face will be done. Then we're just waiting on the lumber right now to get the top done. So, and all these other boards that we used is all reconditioned from an outdoor seating in our area. So the way the boards did look when we got them, they basically all look like this. This is how all the boards looked. You know, all rough, paint, stuff all over it, card, God knows what else. But nothing a 60 grit sandpaper won't do before you put it to the planer. Then we get it to the planer, and then it comes out like this. You know? So, not a bad source of free wood. So right now, we are way under our budget. So our budget was $650. As of right now, it's $300. Once we get the OSB, or the particle board that we're going to use. So we're going to use 2 particle boards on the top, and then we're going to use the ultra plywood, and then we're going to, you know, just put the sticker on there. We're gonna make this really, really nice, and it's coming along great. So let's get to cleaning up right now, and I'll see you guys soon as we cut out the other opening, and we'll flip it around, and then we'll get the backside done, and then the tabletop, and then we'll get all the electric that we need in here, all the lights, and then we'll do the mounting of the saw, and then we'll make our first real cut. Alright guys, so now we're going to cut out the back of it, because that's the front, this is the back. So we're going to cut this panel out. We'll get rocking and rolling on this. Alright, I don't want to block the view too much. Let's see if we can do this without blocking the view. That was cool. It reminds me of like a snowblower. Alright, let's get the other side. Well, there we have it. Alright. Thank you. That does kick up a lot of dust. I would recommend anybody doing this type of work, get a couple of these sanding pads. Especially with this type of plywood, you don't want to use a powered sander. We have another big project coming. Right after this one, we start another one. And the next one, well, that's going to be a task for me, because it's going to be very hard, very difficult, and very time consuming. So we got the sides done, we got the back done. That side, I haven't decided if I'm going to make it completely enclosed or I am going to make an opening. I have to decide that because I don't have a very big shop, so 99% of the time it's always going to be against this wall. So I really don't know that if I need that cutout or not. But I'll decide. I'll put everything, you know, on paper, the pros and cons of having it and dishaving it, and then I'll make my decision. Alright guys, I will see you on the next one. Ciao.